Hey everyone, this is Dr. Casey Johnson. Thank you so much for taking time to listen to the Unlock Wellness podcast. I know you're going to love today's episode with Kevin Lindsay. Kevin is doing some amazing work, so I'm excited to have him on to share a story with you guys. If you've been loving the Unlock Wellness podcast, be sure to jump onto iTunes, subscribe, and write a review. It really helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate all of the feedback and support. The Unlock Wellness podcast is now on patreon.com. Patreon is an amazing site that allows you to support your favorite podcasts. You can learn more by going to patreon.com/Dr. Casey Johnson. There are even fun incentives for supporting, like shirts and stickers, so be sure to check it out. Also, be sure to follow me on social media to keep up with the latest podcast episodes. The best way to connect with me is on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. My username across the board is @Dr. Casey Johnson. That's DrKaseyJohnson. You can also check out my website at drcaseyjohnson.com. It has all of the past podcast episodes and more information about each guest under the Listen tab. While you're on my site, also be sure to check out the Shop tab, where you can check out my first book of my Healthy Children's Book series and learn about the Unlock Wellness Project, which supplies a wellness bag to a child in need for each book purchased. Thank you again for listening. I hope this episode leaves you feeling inspired to start making positive changes to your health. Now it's time for today's episode. I hope you love my conversation with Kevin Lindsay. Welcome to the Unlock Wellness podcast. I'm Dr. Casey and excited for today's guest. I'm here with my friend Kevin Lindsay, and Kevin is a fitness expert and owner of Iron Banner Fitness. And I'm just excited for Kevin to share his story and all of the positive work that he's doing. So, Kevin, thank you so much for taking time to come on. I'm excited to have you.
Right on. I'm happy to be here. I can't wait to tell you guys everything that's going on with Iron Banner Fitness. So, funny story. I actually started Iron Banner Fitness as I was laying in the hospital bed. I'd gotten into a serious accident about a year ago. And as I was laying in the hospital, I was like, well, how can I still help people across the world? How can I still make people healthier without actually being able to physically be there? So I actually came up with Iron Banner Fitness being international. So I started off coaching people around the world from Australia, Japan, across the world. But then too, I thought about, over the last couple of years, how can I maximize this? Because a lot of people, the biggest thing they struggle with is nutrition, which then I created the Iron Banner Fitness app, which actually breaks down everything for each and every person. So not only are they getting their calories broken down, their macros broken down, even if they're vegan, that's in there. Even for children, even for seniors, it actually breaks down every type of nutritional plan for every type of person. Alongside that, it actually breaks down the actual workout regimen. So a lot of people, one of the other reasons why I created Iron Banner Fitness is the biggest thing we work against every day is time. Mm-hmm. So a lot of us don't have time to actually make it to the gym, and a lot of us don't have time to actually prep food. And the reason of this is because we're going 100 miles an hour a day. I still do it myself, going 100 miles an hour a day, going from place to place. But the one thing I always make time for is health. Because without your health, it doesn't matter how much you work or how much money you make or whatever, you don't have your health, you can't fully enjoy everything. So going back to why time is one of the biggest crucial things we work against and why I create Iron Banner Fitness, a lot of the little awesome features that I actually inputted into Iron Banner feature is me actually being able, and my team actually having the ability to go to people's homes now. So if they have kids, that's a serious schedule that they're working with there. If they're businessmen, it's a serious schedule. So not only am I coming in there actually teaching people how to actually prep food, which nutrition is the most important part out of everything. And it's the one thing everyone struggles with since the beginning of nutrition, and that's, yeah.
Well, like marketing doesn't help with that at all. It's just so much information. Yep.
It really it's really the biggest and hardest thing everybody struggles with, because of course, yeah, I can train somebody, yes, they can lose a significant amount of weight in a short period of time, but I don't just want to coach people, I want to teach. I want to teach them so much they could be their own coach if they wanted to. I want to teach them to actually roll down and teach their whole family how to actually eat healthier, because if they lose the weight and then next week, they're like, oh, I lost 20 pounds, then they're going to revert back to eating the way they were before, and they didn't learn anything. So I really focus on people's future bodies, which is it's really important. So nutrition and health, it's more important than being actually in great shape. Being a sponsored athlete myself, I talk to a lot of people like, oh, I want to look like you. I'm like, listen, being in great shape is great and all, but when it comes to nutrition and health, there's a lot of health risks that actually come into play. Being in the medical field, I switched over from being, working in the medical field and taking all my background and putting it into the fitness world, because my biggest thing is I wanted to keep people out of the hospital. Because if I can stop them, from being in the hospital, I can help them with the nutrition. I can stop them from becoming a diabetic. I can stop them from having, heart disease, and, even all these other diseases that happen if they just would have started in the beginning of, just switching over to being a little healthier, to actually eating healthier, to even with the kids eating healthier. A lot of people say, oh, it's hereditary, it's in the family. But I've changed a lot of people who said that were in the family, and they look completely different from their family. Even myself, my father himself, he does dialysis every day, and I have to help him with the dialysis machine. He does. He's got one kidney. He's got heart problem. He's got liver problems, and we were on borderline just like with him. But the thing is, I decided to be on a healthier lifestyle. Same thing with my younger brother. We've all got the same blood in us, and yes, I see that if I don't keep, and it's almost like I have to stay in healthy, because if not, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
If I don't stay healthy, so there's a lot more factors that go into why, some of us train so hard, and why some of us, like, oh, fitness there's more than the life than fitness. I'm like, well, yeah, there's more than life than having to spend all that money on medicine and to spend it in the hospital. What would you rather have?
Right. And Kevin, it's interesting when you look at, families that will say things that are hereditary. And obviously certain things could be, but for the
Right.
most part, it's that, families pass down ways of eating from generation to generation. If you have grandparents that have become overweight, they're not physically fit, they don't really pay attention to what they eat. That's what they teach their kids. That's what they teach their kids. And then all of a sudden it's a cycle when it's not necessarily a genetic thing. It's just you're teaching the same thing from generation to generation, from how to move, from what to eat. So it's just it's a cycle of bad decisions from generation to generation, which is cool,
Exactly.
because by just reaching out to people and educating them, you can stop that cycle. And Kevin, real quick before we continue on with what you're doing,
Mhm.
I just want to hear, so people understand your own backstory a little bit more. I know you were just talking about your dad and the health issues that he's currently going through, but what did your health look like growing up? What did your fitness look
Oh
like? What
boy.
did your nutrition look like? What did your health look like?
Oh boy. I've had like many cycles of different health styles. So when I was a kid, I was actually a little chubbier because my dad was a cook. So boy, did I love food.
That
I
helps
love
if if they can
it.
cook. Yeah.
Yeah, boy, did I love food. We ate good. He was great. But I was like, okay, well, as I got older, then I got into football. My parents are like, man, he has so much energy. We got to put him in something. But funny is I actually went into gymnastics before I went into actual football. So, which I was like, I was really good at doing backflips, handsprings and everything. They're like, wow, for your size, you're pretty nimble. I was like, yeah, parents put me in gymnastics. So I'm really glad they did that, because over the last couple of years, I mean, gymnastics, being the stretching, people who do gymnastics, I give them so many props because they are just beasts.
Oh,
I
they
mean,
are.
even the kids that do, wow, I give them.
Yep.
It's so fascinating to watch these kids do the gymnastics. It's changed so much from before to now. I'm just like, wow, I can't even do that if I even wanted to. but, but over the years, it was like kind of up and down, up and down. I think it really made a big difference about probably 18 years ago when I did my first competition. Actually, I think that's when I really stepped up and really started doing when I really got into the fitness world, because that
Right.
after my first competition, that really opened my eyes, because I was
Bodybuilding,
going
right?
yeah, bodybuilding,
Bodybuilding,
yes,
yeah.
my first NPC. I did men's physique competition, and there's doing competitions in men's physique bodybuilding, and that really it really changes your mind and outlook, not only just health and fitness, but just life in general. I've never been so focused in my life on something. So, I mean, it really, it mentally tests you. It makes you a stronger person. It put me to the test, it gave me a lot of skills, actually. It gave me a lot of skills to which I can change over, and I input some of those skills into people's meal plans. Remember, I say meal plans. I don't do diets, because diets don't work. So, because diets are something that's quick. You do that right away. I do meal plans because I look for longevity. But when I really hopped into that first competition, it really opened up the fitness world for me. I mean, I trained some before that. I was all about being healthy, and but I was like, oh, yeah, I want to be healthy, go to the beach and look great. But after I got into the competition world, I was like, wow, this is something different. This is something I had no idea. I really wish I would have got into it, when I was younger, because I really would have had the knowledge to really change a couple things, and it would have made me even stronger person in the past. But leading up to now, I wouldn't change anything. I mean, it's
Yeah.
made me a way better person. It's made me stronger, maybe mentally stronger, even after, I mean, watching all those videos and everything when I was in, the hospital bed, all those competitions, I was like, it mentally kept me going. So there was more to it than just, oh, we're ripped for being on stage. It makes you dedicated.
Right.
When you get dedicated on that, you're on that stage, you're dedicated, you get dedicated to everything else. Everything else is different, everything else is scheduled, everything else is timed. It really makes you a different kind of person. That's why I love when a lot of that's happened too. I've had people that were my clients that turn into competitors, who turn into people who have stepped on stage, who never
Cool.
thought in a million years they could step on a competition stage. It made them a stronger person. I mean, it takes a lot for somebody to stand up in front of thousands of people,
Right. I
and
mean, the
show.
discipline, like you like, yeah, you have to have that discipline because standing up there almost completely exposed, right? Like
Yeah, you're pretty. I
there's
mean,
no way to like fake your way out. Like you are
you
there.
can't.
So it's just like you have to be disciplined or it's gonna be rough. There's just
It
no way out.
really is. We love it. I mean, a lot of people think we're crazy. But I mean, of course, yeah, it can be hard at times. I mean, when you're eating out of Tupperware sitting in your car, But we love that stuff. But when you really look at it from the outside in, it's like, well, that's crazy. I would never do that. But when you get into it, you're like, okay, this is what I got to do to go to the next level. And going to like the Olympia, for us, that's like the Super Bowl of competitions.
Is that Orlando?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's no, yeah. They do that in Orlando and I think LA and Las Vegas, I believe.
Gotcha. What made you want to do the first show? The desire to even want to do the first one.
Yeah. So I was in an Anytime Fitness, and a coach had came up to me and he's like, you have the physique to do a competition. And I was like, I don't know, that's not for me. And I got back on the cardio machine, the elliptical, and I was like, you know what? I want a trophy. I I never, I've never really pushed myself to do something this big before. Before, yes, back in the day, it was, work really hard, go out with friends, go to the beach, go boating, and all that jazz. But I was like, you know what? I never really switched things over, and then from there, it just took off.
Yeah.
I was just, like clockwork. I was a machine. It was.
Right.
It's funny because my older brother, he would come over my house sometimes, and he was like, I don't even know how you do it, man. It was insane watching you prep all that food and weigh it out. And he's like, dude, you were so ripped in the morning. Wow. He's like, that was awesome. I was like, is that even real? It's just amazing how much the human body can change.
Right.
And that's what I tell people. And I'm like, you have a good physique under your body. Not everybody's body can change. I mean, the human body is capable of so many amazing things. It's just people just really have to open their mind. Nothing is really impossible. Somebody that is, big and overweight, as they call obese, yes, they can get down to having, a regular body.
Right.
It's not impossible to do with the right guidance. It kills me inside when a lot of people push to where just drop all the weight, and everything's going to be great.
Yeah.
Cardio. No, that's not the healthy way to do it. It's better to build all around your whole body, and do it in sections, because your future body is going to thank you. And it's better to have a healthier lifestyle than a quick fix.
Right. And to cross train, basically.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Everything. And just for kind of pretext with Kevin. So we go way back, Kev. We go back.
Oh, yeah.
We go back a few years. So
yeah, it's been a couple years now.
So Kevin, obviously extremely strong. I mean, can lift extremely heavy. But but most people you think like that can't do cardio at all. But this guy would I'd see he'd be out he would lift, and then a few hours later he'd be out oh, I'm going for an 8-mile run. I'm like, what?
Yep.
What are you doing? But that's the point. To be able to push your body in different ways, not to where you can do a heavy, you can do a big bench press. That's cool. But what else are you doing? That's not an even way to work out the body. So it's having that diversity. And then, for Kevin, that's definitely been the case.
Yes, definitely. There's different sections of the fitness where you have your CrossFitters, you have your power lifters, your strongman, your people who compete, your runners, your marathoners. Everybody has a different category, but that's why I became a master trainer, because I wanted to touch on every category, because I never wanted somebody to come to me and be like, well, can you do this? And me say no.
Right.
I never want to turn anybody away. I will figure it out. We're going to do it together. I'm going to learn, you're going to learn. It's going to be a learning experience. But I think and then actually after my first competition is when my eyes opened up too, because I used to do a lot of, lifting and stuff here and there, but that's when I came into HIIT training. HIIT training became my biggest type of training, and I swear by it till today, because it doesn't matter how strong you are or, how ripped you are. If your body's not conditioned, it's just not gonna help you down the road.
Quick side note, Kev, will you go into, for people maybe that are listening that are super new to fitness, explain exactly what that means?
Interval HIIT training is low intensity and high intensity short burst workouts. So for instance, you can go into 5 sets of burpees and into push-ups and into sit-ups. It's really a circuit of workouts. It's high intensity, low intensity. So you have your high intensity, you do 5 or 6 workouts, you blow through them, and then you're calm down to a low intensity, low impact workout, and then you run that circuit again. So that's what we call interval HIIT training. You're going back to back, and you're doing the multiple workouts all at one time. So, and then you have a short, rest in between. So you do multiple workouts, short rest, multiple workouts, short rest. So interval HIIT training is some of the best training you can do to condition the body, and it's really good for the heart, actually.
Yeah,
and it's really good for your blood flow. Oh yeah, you release so many endorphins when you're doing interval HIIT training. So that's why CrossFitters look like just beasts, because they're doing compound movements all the time.
Right. And it's cool though too, because you can do that, interval training like that. You can do that anywhere,
Yeah.
It's just you can go outside and run sprints and then stop and do push-ups, or you know what I mean? You could do it if you have no weights, you can do it in your home. It makes it super easy to make it doable wherever you're at.
And it's good for every level. I mean,
Yeah.
I train youth, I train children too. So anywhere from, let's see, 8 years old and up, you know, and I do interval hit training with them. I do battle ropes. I have these kids doing sleds. They're like they can do yeah, and they love it. And all the way up to I have people that are seniors that are 88, that are 77. I think the oldest person I have is like 97,
Awesome.
and she trains harder to some of the 30-year-olds. So age is just a number. It kills me when I hear, "Oh, I'm too old." I'm like, I got Mrs. Robinson over here. She's 98 years old. She's pulling that sled with 118, 80 pounds on it, and she's loving it.
I
so,
love it. That's amazing.
so oh, it
Oh
just
man.
it makes me so happy when I see older people just having a blast doing a lot of our younger workouts. Because there's some people that are afraid to push them because they're old, they're fragile. I'm like, no, no, they were our age at one time. They want to do it.
Right.
And then it opens up so many doors for them. I mean, it makes them healthier. It gets them. I don't know how many people that I had that were older that I've had them get off medicines that they were on just by them doing specific workouts, isolation, and I believe big in resistance band training.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's one of my favorite, because resistance bands training and isolation is key. It is really key to making a well-rounded body and balance.
Right.
You get
And I
really
mean,
big, yeah.
yeah, I mean, like overall, like bone density. I mean, obviously that's a problem as people age and people are worried about osteoporosis and just overall bone health. But if they're doing resistance, even if it's a light resistance, that's still resistance, and that's still going to help build their bone density.
Exactly. It makes such a big difference.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
cool.
I love it so much. I mean, it makes especially when I do it with the kids. I mean, when you start them younger, when they're doing interval hit training, it's no different from them doing football. A lot of people worry, oh, my child's going to get really big, and I'm like, no, actually, they're less likely to get injured
Right.
when they actually have built, lean mass is what we called it. You put lean mass on a child, and they have less of a chance of getting injured. And you give them, and don't let them get malnourished. You feed them, you give them the right kind of protein instead of McDonald's all the time, and they'll be fine. And
Right.
they'll be okay.
What is your response when parents may ask about adding resistance with like their growth with growth plates, like that kind of thing? Because everybody hears the myth, like you do lifting as a kid, you don't get as tall. I mean, you've heard this millions of times. Like, what's your response when you hear that?
I mean, I tell them that it's the same thing. It's really not going to affect them if they're not lifting serious weight. I mean, yeah, if you put a kid under significant pressure, or the kid's trying to squat 600 pounds, well, yeah, his knees and his lower back is going to be more likely to have injuries, and when he gets older,
Yeah.
because he started at such a young age, trying to push so much weight at a young age. So I always tell them the same thing: conditioning is key. I preach it all the time. You start them lightweight like anybody else, and you work them up. Everybody starts at a different level. I mean, there's some kids that are, wow, I'm like, I thought they were adults. So, I mean, nowadays kids are, they're a lot stronger than they were back in the day. And kids now, they grow 10 times faster than before. That's why I'm like, well, there's really less to worry about nowadays than, maybe back in the day when they didn't have that technology to really read the whole body. We have so much technology now, and I have some of the highest tech. And that's the other awesome things I use. I have some of the highest tech too to analyze people's bodies. So especially kids too, because I have a lot of the heart monitors. I'll have them wear the heart monitors. I'll actually do the full body analyzation and their BMI check to actually make sure they can actually do these workouts. So that's why it's really big to do a fitness assessment on these kids and everybody else. So that plays a big part too, because yes, if somebody didn't do a fitness assessment on somebody and they throw them right into some serious workouts and you don't know what their level is, well,
Yeah.
yes, then they're more prone to get injured.
Right.
But
Can't just feed it.
everybody,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Taking the extra precautions and not doing too much too soon. And yeah, which I think probably every middle school, high school, let's say guy that's trying to play football or basketball, if they're doing it on their own, they're more than likely trying to keep up with their buddies and doing way too much. And that's when
Oh
the
yeah, I
injuries
see it
come in
all
and
the time.
bad techniques. I mean, yeah. So it's just having the right education. And like Kevin was saying, just once you get the right education, then you can kind of be your own coach, and then you have that skill to take with you the rest of your life. But if you start off and you're doing the wrong technique and the wrong stuff, that can set you up for failure and you don't even know it. You're being consistent, but you're not doing things correctly to build long-term success.
And that's one of the really awesome features I love about my app is a lot of the kids, they're on their phones already.
Yeah,
So
right.
they're really good with technology. So the app actually has the capability of teaching the kids proper form, proper videos. It actually breaks down what muscle they're working, how long to hold the muscle, and how to actually perform it at the same time. So no more having to look all over the place or get the wrong information. It actually breaks down the accurate information and demonstrates it. It doesn't matter where they are, what gym they're at, but the app actually will demonstrate the same exact workout at any place that they go, and if they're at home. So it actually breaks down their whole nutrition for them. So it's built for each and every person individually. So they're learning. I mean, they can learn, all those games. They can learn how to eat and look right.
Does it have actual workouts as well, or is it basically? Yep. Yeah. Is it custom to like? Can you make it custom to that person, or is it basically they're switching from what they want to do?
It's custom to each and every person.
Okay.
So each and every person gets a customized, complete regimen built for that person.
That's cool.
It's really awesome. So once they put it in, it actually keeps a digital graph of everything they do. So it's like I'm in their pocket the whole time. So literally, I'm always there. And that's, people love that. They love that. They always have, I'm always there to help them out. Because a lot of the time is when people, have a coach, it's like, okay, I'll see you next week. And I like the fact that I'm always with them and I can help them anytime. And if they have questions and everything, the app is live pretty much. So if they're having problems in the gym, they literally just tag me on the app and they're like, hey, coach, help. And I can assist them right away, right then and there, no matter where they are in the world. So if they flew somewhere and they're at a gym somewhere over there, I can literally change it around to where they are and have them work out in that gym without me being there.
That's awesome.
So it's
I love that.
really cool.
I love that. And I can give, a testament to Kevin that he is an amazing trainer and really knows his stuff. I mean, whenever we used to live in the same city, I moved away. I left him, but I know it's so sad, but no. So Kevin would put me through a lot of different types of workouts, like you were talking about, a lot of interval trainings. So Kevin, he went above and beyond. He would meet me because I would have to be
3 a.m.
I would have to. I would have to be at work really early. So it wasn't uncommon for him to meet to work out at 4:30, 5 a.m. And that's extremely early, especially when he works till 9 o'clock. So so I can give a testament to Kevin that he does know what he's talking about and is really awesome guy. So
it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Even though it was super early, I was like, well, might as well get my workout in too. That's the thing too. We trade. I trade with a lot of my clients to make it more fun.
Right.
So,
no.
Even though it was super early.
It was hard, man. It was super early, but it was good though. It was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's really exciting with the app. So how does that work though? Is it like a subscription or how does that work?
Each person that I actually coach online or physically gets access to the app. So, and I have another app that keeps access of all the classes and everything. And that's just on the mobile app. Now, the other really cool thing that I created too is the mobile wellness center, which is really awesome. So what I've created, I've pretty much created a whole wellness center that brings the whole gym to your home. So not only am I, pretty much take crossover cables, think of pretty much any type of workout you can do. I built a whole rig that actually can do all of it smoothly. So I can train about, 15 to 20 people rotation all at the same time on my wellness center rig. So there's going to be a couple other ones that we're building that's going to be rolled out soon for big events that we have on the beach. It'd be like, oh my God, It'd be huge, like the size of an 18-wheeler.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we have rigs that size, and then we have little smaller ones, But the really big object of why I created the wellness center is for other, trainers that actually want to help more people, that want to open up their own facility. That it can be really expensive. So now I've created a way for other trainers to actually have their own gym, to be able to go to people and have their own business, pretty much.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
So is
really
it basically, are you going to be setting it up as a franchise, or basically?
Yeah. Yes. It's definitely going to be a franchise. So along with the app, they'll be going international too. So I'll be sending the actual rigs, shipping them all over the world.
Nice. That's really exciting. So basically, how you were saying it, if they are currently training with you, whether physically or online, then they get access to the app, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, cool. So if they do, if they would want to do that, you have a website, right? Is that the best way for people to find you on there?
Yes. It'd be www.ironbannerfitness.com.
Perfect. And then they can just opt to send you a message, sign up, kind of give you their initial information and get a game plan going.
Exactly.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. And I know we just covered a whole lot, Kevin, but
there's so much.
Is there anything else that you're working on in the future that you just want to put out there and share with people, or just continue to build Iron Banner, build everything that you're doing?
I mean, my biggest goal is to try to make as many healthy people as I can across the world. That's one of my biggest goals. That's why I wanted to be international and coach people. And I want to, coach people how to just be healthier. I just want to make the world as healthy as possible. Is really my biggest goals. A lot of people are like, how's that even possible? I'm like, there's a way. There's definitely. I mean, there's so many people across the world that train in every part of the world, and some of them just need the right guidance and the right push. And one person tells another person, and then we've got more healthier people. So
yeah, no, I love it. And Kevin, what is the best way for people to reach you on social media? I know we just talked about your website, but how can people follow you on Instagram, Facebook, all of that?
So on Facebook, they would just look up Iron Banner Fitness, or they can actually look up my name. And then Instagram, same way. It'd be Iron Banner Fitness _ in between Iron Banner.
Gotcha. Perfect. I'll put both of those in the show notes. That way people can just give it a click and add you on there. And then Kevin, just closing question that I ask every guest, but if you just had one piece of advice for the audience, maybe it's something that's been your biggest takeaway through your journey so far, but if you just had one piece of advice to give, what would it be?
Oh man, there's so many. No pressure. Man, I think my biggest advice is nothing is impossible in the world. Really, nothing is. If you want something bad enough in the world, you just go out there and you get it. Don't listen to anything anybody tells you. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. I mean, I came back from having 25 bulging discs in my back, laying in a hospital bed, and I thought, you know what, my fitness world is over. But what kept me going is really being able to, I can't give up. If I give up, there's going to be people out there that could have been helped, and I couldn't help them. So really, I just, willpower and drive kept me going. And just whatever you want out there in the world, just never give up. Nothing's impossible.
Love it. No, that's perfect, Kevin. Just thank you so much for taking time to come on. I'm excited for people to give you a follow and check out your site. And guys, if you're listening, go give him an ad and please check out his coaching program, check out his app, because it's all amazing. So Kevin, just thank you so much.
Right on. Very welcome.
Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you loved my conversation with Kevin. He's doing so much positive work, so be sure to give him a follow on social media to keep up with everything that he's been working on. You can find his social media links that we talked about in the episode in the show notes, but you can also find them on my website as well at drkcjohnson.com. That's drkaseyjohnson.com. Click on the Listen tab. Then from there, you'll be able to see all of the past guests that have come on the Unlock Wellness podcast, read a little bit about each guest, and be able to click on their social media links, websites, all of that. So all of Kevin's information can be found on my site as well. If you guys loved today's episode with Kevin, be sure to jump onto iTunes, subscribe, and write a review. It really helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate all of the feedback and support. Also, be sure to check out patreon.com/Dr. Casey Johnson to learn more about how you can support the Unlock Wellness podcast. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in to today's episode. I hope you loved it. I hope it inspires you. And most importantly, I hope you take action.